Hello my YouTube beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing another forgotten products video. This is where I do a tutorial with forgotten products that no one here on YouTube talks about anymore, but that are still really good products. I love going through my makeup to figure out what are things that I have loved in the past that I haven't had an opportunity to use because it's just not raved about, talked about anymore. This is the look that I came up with using forgotten products. If you have been enjoying my forgotten products videos, then give this video a thumbs up letting me know. And let's just get into trying on forgotten products. So first I'm going to start with this Nivea Men Sensitive Post Shave Balm. I have not heard anyone talk about this in a really long time. I know that this used to be like a mind-blowing product that no one knew about until Nikki Tutorials introduced YouTube to it. So I'm gonna try it out. I'm not the biggest fan of this. I don't know. I don't think this does a whole lot as a primer, but I wanted to test it out with the foundation combo I'm gonna be wearing today. First off, it smells like a man. This used to be the hyped primer on YouTube after Nikki Tutorials made that video, and you're supposed to rub it in until it gets sticky, and it's supposed to get really tacky and be a good foundation primer. Next I'm going to go in with this Sonia Kashuk Soft Focus Satin Matte Foundation. I'm a little concerned that Target is discontinuing the Sonia Kashuk line because I went to my local Target and the whole Sonia Kashuk area was completely gone, and they had a huge clearance section for Sonia Kashuk. So I really like this foundation, and I feel like for a while there a lot of YouTubers were using this. It's very liquidy, but I like the finish that it gives my skin. The coverage is really nice, has a very weird smell, kind of like fragranced paint, but I really like this foundation for my oily skin. It keeps me matte throughout the day. My favorite way to apply this is with a sponge. I think it's too liquidy to use it with a brush. For some reason, I'm starting to enjoy the foundations that have more of a natural satin finish rather than foundations that have a really strong matte finish. I think it just looks more natural on the skin. Please don't mind my nails. I just did them. I'm just not the best at painting my nails. If you have any, I don't know, tips on how to get better and have this not be a thing, then comment down below, let me know, because I really want to improve my nail polish game and I just don't know how, and I think I don't apply it oftentimes because it looks so bad. This is not going to be a completely full coverage foundation. As you can see, there is some of my spots showing through, but it's super lightweight and I don't mind that it's not completely full coverage. I don't like to wear full coverage foundations on a daily basis. Going through all my makeup has really made me realize how much makeup that I already have that I don't use just because they're older and no one really talks about them anymore, but it doesn't mean that they're still not great products. The concealer I'm going to use is the LA Girl Pro Conceal. This wasn't really talked a whole lot about on YouTube. I think Casey Holmes talked about it a few times, but I really like it. I never see anyone talk about it and I just enjoy this concealer. It has this little brush tip, which I'm not a fan of. Whenever I have too much concealer, I always blend it up onto my eyelid, not necessarily as a eyeshadow base, but just because I put a lot of concealer on. So there you can see, it just looks really nice and has good coverage. It's not the best. I can definitely still see my dark circles, but I really like the finish and the way that this looks on my skin. I really need to test out more LA Girl products because the ones that I have tried, I really enjoyed. This concealer is pretty matte, so if you don't like matte concealers, this would not be the one for you. I'm just going to even it out because it's such a lighter shade than my foundation is. For setting powder, I'm going to use this RCMA No Color Powder. I still have the very old packaging. The new one still has the same packaging, but this, it's a little bit more of just this as a sticker. It has this like black huge sticker on the front, so I still have the old one. I wish that they would adjust their packaging. It's just so not convenient to use this, it gets everywhere, and I feel like you lose a lot of product because you're I mean, like the way that you do it is you take this off and pour it into the cap, and there's no sifter at all. I wish that they would put a sifter on it or just put it in a regular setting powder container like all the other ones, because this is just not, I'm not a fan of this. And it seems to all come out all at once no matter how careful I am. See, look at that. Just went all over my hand. No matter how careful I am, it always ends up everywhere, and I feel like I lose a lot of product. I'm gonna go in and set my entire face with this. This is a really good powder. I really enjoy it. I think it makes my skin look a little more natural. It still keeps me matte throughout the day. I just really like how it softens my skin, and it almost takes away my pores right here. I really enjoy the finish of it. It just softens my entire face and makes it just look very soft and blurred, and it doesn't feel too heavy on the face either. Kathleen Lice is the one who originally talked about this powder on YouTube. I never see it talked about anymore, and for a while there everyone was using this in their videos. Got powder all over my nail polish that's still partly drying, so now I'm just gonna have powder in my nail polish for the rest of the week. For bronzer, I'm going to talk about the Makeup Forever Pro Fusion Bronzers. Never see anyone talk about this anymore. They're really good subtle bronzers. If you are beginning at makeup, these would be the one to use because they're not super overly pigmented and they take a little bit to build up, but they're beautiful and they're just really hard to mess up. So I have these two shades. One's darker than the other and I can't remember which one is. This is the lighter one. This is the darker one. I think I'm going to use the darker one today. This lighter one seems to have some sparkle in it, but this one does not. And it has this like little wave thing in the product, which I think is really cool. I really enjoy the tone of these bronzers. And because they take a while to build up, you can really just put your whole brush in there. The pan size is also a big plus with these. And the thing with these is, I mean, you can really build these up to as intense as you want them to. These are just great bronzers. I highly recommend them. Now that bronzer's done, I want to go in with blush, and I'm going to be using the BECCA Mineral Blush in Songbird. Again, used to be a very hyped thing when Jaclyn Hill had all of her collabs coming out with BECCA. This is a great blush, very pigmented. It's just a great blush. It's really pigmented, so you do have to be careful not to overdo it. For highlight, I really should have done this before I powdered, I guess. So I have the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek highlighters. I have the shade Lunch Money and Wisp, but Wisp is a little too dark for me. I'm gonna swatch it for you so you can see, but these are the butteriest formulas. They're almost like a gel formula, so if you stick your finger in there, it is going to leave an indent. I do think that they're a really great formula. I just never use them. Honestly, I forget about them. So the darker one down here is Wisp, and then the top one is Lunch Money. Both really, really pretty shades. I don't know which one I want to use. Let's try Lunch Money today because I think I'm too fair for the Wisp. I just take this on my finger and just kind of rub it into that high point on my cheek. And they do dry to a powder finish, so I guess it's kind of okay that I did this after I powdered. I don't think the Super Shock formula from ColourPop picks up very well on a brush. So there's the highlight. It's really pretty. Got that subtle glow. It's not too over the top, but I really like the formula of these highlighters. I don't think they're too much, and you just blend the edges into your skin and it looks really, really nice. Now that the face is done, I'm gonna go to my brows. I'm gonna use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, but then the old product that no one talks about anymore is the Benefit Gimme Brow. This is a great brow setting gel and it is tinted. It has this little tiny spoolie at the end of it. It's perfect size for your brows. I'm going through a phase where I don't know whether I like brow pencils or brow gels better. The pomades seem to just go on a lot quicker. I feel like with a pencil, you really have to build it up. So to set them, like I said, I'm going in with the Benefit Gimme Brow. I love their new packaging, by the way. This is so cute. I have the shade, we don't know. I don't know what shade this is, but it is way lighter than my actual hair right now, since I used to use this when I was my natural hair color and not so dark. This really plumps up your brows. If you want thicker, fuller brows, use this or use a brow like volumizing fiber gel. It's going to add some fiber to your brows and make them just look a little fuller. Let's go in with eyeshadow. I'm super excited about this one. I'm going to be talking about the ColourPop Super Shock Shadows that no one talks about anymore ever. These are probably my favorite glittery eyeshadow formula. These are amazing. I have so many, and I'm gonna swatch all of these so you can see what they look like. I'm not a huge fan of the mattes in the Super Shock shadow formula, but I do have a few mattes here. Let's swatch Game Face first. This is one of my all-time favorite ones. It's this bright fiery orange that has tons of little yellow and orange glitters. That's Game Face. Super, super pretty. Next we have Lala, which is one of my favorite rose gold shades in the Super Shock Shadows. I've used this so much. That right there is Lala. I forgot how much I love these. My camera cut me off, so I just zoomed you guys closer anyway. And I'm gonna swatch the shade Shop. And this is one of their matte formulas. I'm not a huge fan of the mattes, but this is one that I do use. That one is Shop right there. Next, I will swatch Blaze. This is from the Kathleen Lights collab. This one is not as pigmented as some of the other ones, which I just noticed. You did have to build it up a little bit, but that one right there is Blaze. Next, let's do Weenie. Again, another Kathleen Lights shade. I love Weenie. It's a little bit more pink than Lala is. So that right there is Lala, and this top one is Weenie. Next, let's do some of my darker ColourPop shades. This one is in the shade Central Perk. Again, a Kathleen Lights shade. This is this dark, dark purple. So that right there is Central Perk. This is so not a swatch video, but I wanted to show you some of my favorite ColourPop shades. These two. Let's talk about these two. These are my favorite bold ColourPop shades ever. So let's swatch the shade Shameless. This is the prettiest black, blue, green shade. I don't even know how to describe this. This is beautiful. I'd say it has a black base with tons of green and blue sparkles all throughout it. This is beautiful. I would totally wear this like every New Year's Eve for the rest of my life. Then let's look at the shade called Rex. This is the prettiest purple I've ever seen. This is very similar to the one I just swatched, Shameless, and it has a black base, but instead of the blue green shimmers, it has purple shimmers. So that one right there is Rex. These two just blow my mind. They are so pretty. So now that you've seen some of my ColourPop options, I don't know what shades I'm gonna use. I think I'm gonna go in with a mixture of Shop and one of these rose gold orange shades right here. So we'll figure that out, I guess. For a crease shade, I'm just gonna use this Huda Beauty palette, which I have been loving. This is freaking amazing. This is the Smoky one. It has quickly grown to be one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. Just gonna take this shade right here. It is just a, ooh, I should probably prime my eyes first. Where do you live, eyeshadow primer? Take this transition shade right here and just start working this into my crease as our base. If you guys want to see a review on this palette, I am happy to do it. I feel like it's been out for forever, so I just haven't wanted to do a review, but this is so good that I will do a review. If you are interested in seeing that, then comment down below. So let's go in with this Shop shade. Not used this in years. I'm talking years. I feel like the matte Super Shock shades just don't show up very well on my eyes. It just takes a lot of building up because I just don't think that they do that well on a brush. I'm really having to go back and forth to build this shade up. But once you build it up, it is really, really pretty. I think it's built up to the extent that I want. So I am just going to, I don't know, which shade should I use? I know you cannot answer me, but I would like some help figuring this out. So these are the shades that I want to use. I'm really drawn to this Game Face because I feel like it would just really go well with the fiery red. Okay, let's do Game Face. And I'm taking it on my finger. I always use this on my finger. These Super Shock shadows are one of the best eyeshadow formulas I've ever used, and they're so cheap. I think each one of these is like $5. ColourPop is now available at Sephora. I don't know if you can get the Super Shock shadows at Sephora. I do think you can get some of their pressed eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to go back in and build up the shop color a little bit because I feel like it got lost just a bit. I want to deepen the outer V just a little bit. I don't have a dark black shade in a ColourPop shadow, so I'm just going to take the one from the Huda Beauty palette right here. This black is so pigmented, it's ridiculous. And I'm going to go back in with the Game Face shade. So I think I'm done with the, well, not done with the eyes. Let's try this underneath the lash line. This is Shop again, and I'm taking it on a little definer brush. Now I find it especially hard when using it on a really dense brush because I feel like it doesn't pick up the shade all that much. I'm going to go in with my regular black liner from Smashbox. This is a gel liner. Got too carried away there. I don't know. I guess now that I have smudged some black under my lower lash line, I guess I have to do that with a black shadow as well. I'm going to do some mascara. I always use this LashBlast Fusion CoverGirl mascara, but I do think that they're changing the way that this looks, like the packaging, so it may not look purple and pretty anymore. I always use this one. Every other mascara that I've tried has not come close to this. It has these short bristles. This just works for my lashes. This video is going to be 10,000 years long. But speaking of this mascara, this is something that no one ever talks about, and it's so good. It volumizes and lengthens at the same time, and it has a wetter formula, which I love. I did try the Lash Paradise, and it didn't look as nice on my lashes as this one does. I'm really liking how this eye look turned out. It's really pretty. I hate when my lower lashes are being sassy and they're not doing what I want them to do. Lastly, we're gonna do lips, and I have the ColourPop Lippie sticks here. I have a lot of different shades. I don't know which one I want. I don't love all of them, but I just wanna swatch them and show you all the ColourPop Lippie sticks that I have. This is the shade Contempo. It's got that really pretty purple rosy undertone to it. Then I have LBB. That's LBB right there. Then I have Grunge. I never wear the shade. It's so brown on my lips. That's Grunge right there. But it might be a nice shade to wear today. This is Cookie. Then I have Lumiere, and this is a Kathleen Lights collab. That one right there is Lumiere. Then we have I Heart This. That one is I Heart This. And here's another one that I have, which is Bossy, and I'm going to swatch it at the bottom because I did not leave enough room. I have a couple Matte X formulas as well, but they're all red, and that one is Bossy right there. I think everything else is too, like, pink. Let's try Grunge. I never wear brown lipsticks, so let's just go for it. So this is not nearly as brown as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's brown, but it's got that really pretty, like, mauve brown undertone, which I am digging for this look. And these Lippie sticks are amazing. No one ever talks about them, but they're so good. So this is the final look I came up with some awesome forgotten products. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on my future videos. Everything that I wore will be linked down in the description box, so make sure to check that out. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!